The amber glow of whiskey catches the light from my phone screen at 3:47 a.m., illuminating the notification that would end everything I thought I knew about trust. 16 years of friendship, 7 days of systematic betrayal, one moment of recognition that changes how you see every shadow, every smile, every handshake that came before. This is the story of how Marcus Chen, the man I called brother, dismantled my life with the precision of a surgeon and the conscience of a ghost. What started as a simple business partnership became the most elaborate deception I've ever witnessed, costing me everything I'd built over 2 decades of hard work. Marcus and I met in the concrete labyrinth of Chicago's Northwestern University in 2008. Two broke kids with big dreams and bigger appetites for risk. We'd skip meals to save $20 for business books, spending nights in the library dissecting case studies of companies that made it big. Marcus had this way of breaking down complex problems into simple solutions, while I could talk anyone into anything. By 2019, we'd built Meridian Digital Solutions from nothing into a $2.3 million revenue company. 47 employees spread across 3 office locations. Marcus handled operations with military precision, while I managed client relations and new business development. We'd grown 340% in just 4 years, landing contracts with Fortune 500 companies and local startups alike. Perfect partnership, I thought. 2 kids from nothing who'd cracked the code. But partnerships, like mirrors in noir films, sometimes reflect things you'd rather not see. Sarah entered my life like sunlight piercing through Venetian blinds. An architect with eyes that saw beauty in broken things, she had this way of tilting her head when she listened that made you feel like the most important person alive. We'd been together 18 months when I made the decision that would haunt me forever. November 12, 2023, I handed Marcus the signed power of attorney documents for our business accounts while I prepared to propose to Sarah in Paris. The ring cost 3 months' salary, hidden in my desk drawer for weeks. "Handle the Henderson merger while I'm gone," I told him, sliding the manila envelope across his mahogany desk. "You're the only person I trust with this level of access to our finances." Marcus nodded, that familiar crooked smile playing at his lips. Trust. The word tastes like copper pennies now. That signature gave him complete control over $2.3 million in company assets. A1 in Paris, 6:47 p.m. Central Time. I'm selecting the perfect vintage Bordeaux for our anniversary dinner when my phone buzzes. Our accountant, Janet Morrison, sounds confused. 3 wire transfers totaling $340,000 went out today. Marcus authorized them, but the receiving accounts aren't in our system. The wine suddenly tastes like vinegar. My hands shake as I process the numbers. $340,000, gone, without my knowledge or approval. Marcus texts back immediately. "Equipment lease deposits for the expansion. Surprise for when you return." The explanation feels rehearsed, like lines from a script I wasn't given. I sit there staring at the message, watching other couples share intimate conversations while my world tilts sideways. The romantic Parisian evening I'd planned dissolves into questions and doubt. Something fundamental has shifted between us, and I'm 3,000 miles away from finding answers. A3, the Eiffel Tower glitters behind us as Sarah shows me her design sketches for our future home. I should be present, but my mind is across an ocean, tracking digital breadcrumbs. Marcus hasn't answered my last 4 calls. Our biggest client, Harrison Industries, mentions in passing they're excited to work with Marcus's new venture. New venture. The phrase echoes in my head like footsteps in an empty alley. I excuse myself to the hotel bathroom and discover our employee payroll account is $180,000 short. My hands shake as I scroll through the bank statements. 3 unauthorized transfers, each exactly $60,000, all approved with Marcus's digital signature. The timestamps show they happened while I was boarding my flight to Paris. My business partner, my closest friend since college, has been systematically draining our accounts. The marble bathroom walls seem to close in as I realize Sarah's engagement ring cost exactly $60,000. A5 brings revelation like a slap of cold rain. Sarah's sleeping when I call our bank's fraud department at 2 a.m. Paris time. The specialist, David Kumar, walks me through 15 separate transactions, all authorized by Marcus Chen between November 13th and 17th. All flowing to accounts registered under Chen Digital Innovations LLC, incorporated in Delaware exactly 36 hours after I left for Paris. The timeline isn't coincidence. It's choreography. Kumar's voice carries the weight of bad news delivered too many times before. Each transaction was processed through different terminals across San Francisco. Marcus used 3 separate authorization codes, all legitimate, all linked to his administrative access. The largest single transfer was $47,000 on November 15th at 3:22 p.m. Pacific Time. That's when I was giving my presentation to the Parisian investors, talking about trust and partnership. The irony tastes like copper pennies in my mouth. Day 6. I cut the Paris trip short without telling Sarah why. The 11-hour flight feels like purgatory, every minute stretching into eternity as my mind races through possibilities. What started as a simple background check has morphed into something far more sinister. Marcus finally answers my call as we're descending into O'Hare. His voice carries the practiced calm of someone who's rehearsed this conversation multiple times. Meet me at Millennium Park tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. by the Bean. Come alone. The instruction sends ice through my veins. This isn't how innocent men arrange meetings. This is how friendships go to die. 23 years of trust reduced to a clandestine encounter in a public park. The businessman beside me sleeps peacefully while my world crumbles at 37,000 feet. Sarah texts asking about dinner plans. I can't even begin to formulate a response that doesn't involve lies. November 19th, 7:03 a.m. Marcus stands beneath Chicago's Cloud Gate like a figure from a fevered dream. The sculpture's mirror surface fractures our reflection into 1,000 pieces. Fitting. He doesn't apologize. Instead, he hands me a manila envelope containing contracts with 7 of our former clients and 23 of our employees. All signed. All dated within the past week. You were always the dreamer, he says. I was always the one who made dreams profitable. The betrayal runs deeper than money. He's stolen the future we built together and rebranded it as his own vision. These aren't just signatures on paper. They represent 18 months of client relationships, 12 major project launches, and 47% of our entire workforce. Each name feels like a small death. The envelope weighs 3 ounces, but contains the destruction of everything I believed about loyalty and partnership. The envelope contains more than contracts. Bank statements show Marcus has been siphoning funds for 8 months, not 7 days, small amounts at first. $5,000 here, $12,000 there. Building his war chest while I built castles in the air. The Henderson merger I thought he was handling, he killed it deliberately, then pitched our clients on his more agile alternative. Every late night at the office, every business development meeting, I couldn't attend, every reassurance that he had everything under control, all chess moves in a game where I didn't know I was the opponent. The total damage exceeds $847,000. Client contracts redirected to shell companies he established 6 months ago. Even our shared business credit line has been maxed out at $200,000, funds mysteriously transferred to accounts I've never seen. The paper trail reveals a systematic dismantling of everything we built together, executed with surgical precision, while I remained blissfully unaware of the financial hemorrhaging happening right under my nose. Sarah finds me that evening, sitting in our kitchen with legal documents scattered like fallen leaves across the marble countertop. The engagement ring, still pristine in its Parisian velvet box, seems to mock the ruins of my financial stability. 3 years of careful planning reduced to ashes in 72 hours. I can't marry someone who hides this kind of crisis from me, she says, her voice steady but distant. Her words cut cleaner than Marcus's betrayal because they're honest, surgical in their precision. She packs her architecture sketches first, rolling the blueprints of our dream house extension with mechanical efficiency. Then her clothes, each folded garment another nail in the coffin of our future. The house feels like a mausoleum after her Uber disappears around the corner, taillights fading into the October darkness. Losing the business was a crime committed against me. Losing Sarah was justice for my cowardice in facing the truth. Attorney Rebecca Steinberg lays out the battlefield in her 32nd floor office overlooking Lake Michigan. The power of attorney was legitimate. The theft charges will be difficult to prove because technically you authorized his access. Her words hit like hammers. Marcus exploited every loophole, every technicality, every naive assumption I'd made about friendship and business. The retainer alone cost $75,000. The lawsuit could take 3 years. Justice, she explains, isn't about being right. It's about proving the other person was wrong beyond reasonable doubt. She slides a thick contract across the mahogany table. The hourly rate is $850. Discovery phase will require at least 200 hours of billable time. Expert witnesses cost another $45,000. Court filing fees add $3,200. Even if we win, Marcus could appeal, doubling our legal costs. The system protects those who understand its complexities, not those seeking fairness. January 15th, 2024. 2 months after Paris, I'm liquidating everything. The house sells for $340,000 less than I owe. The remaining business assets barely cover our outstanding debts. I move into a studio apartment in Wicker Park that smells like other people's failures. My savings account shows $11,247. My contact list, once filled with 847 active business contacts, now consists mostly of creditors and lawyers demanding immediate payment. The studio has a broken radiator that rattles at 3 a.m., peeling wallpaper that curls at the edges, and a window that won't fully close. My daily routine becomes a careful calculation of every expense. Coffee at home instead of the usual $6 lattes. Generic groceries instead of organic, walking instead of Uber rides. Each night, I sit on a folding chair borrowed from my neighbor, staring at the rain-streaked window, calculating how long $11,247 can last. In noir stories, this is where the protagonist either finds redemption or drowns in the shadows. I chose to fight. Redemption requires methodology. I develop what I call the Phoenix Protocol, 5 specific steps for rebuilding from systematic betrayal. Step 1, document everything. Every email, every transaction, every witness to Marcus's promises. I compile 847 pieces of evidence across 4 months of partnership records. Step 2, salvage relationships, not bridges. 18 former employees agree to work as independent contractors at 30% higher rates than their previous salaries. Step 3, rebuild on different ground. I pivot from digital solutions to cybersecurity consulting. Companies want someone who understands deception intimately. Within 6 weeks, I secure 3 consulting contracts worth $180,000 combined. Step 4, transparent partnership structures. Every future business relationship includes quarterly financial audits and dual signature requirements on all major transactions exceeding $5,000. Step 5, trust verification systems. No handshake deals, no verbal agreements, no exceptions regardless of personal relationships or time pressure. September 2024. Marcus's stolen empire crumbles faster than mine ever did. Turns out, the skills that make someone an excellent betrayer make them a terrible leader. 7 clients leave Chen Digital Innovations after discovering his theft of my intellectual property. The IRS launches a comprehensive audit when they notice the glaring discrepancies between his reported income and his actual expenditures on luxury cars and equipment purchases. 3 former employees file wrongful termination suits when he can't make payroll for 2 consecutive months. His office lease gets terminated for non-payment. The business bank account freezes pending investigation. Marcus loses his Tesla, his downtown apartment, and his reputation in the span of 8 weeks. Meanwhile, word spreads through professional networks about what really happened. Karma isn't justice, but sometimes it's an acceptable substitute. My cybersecurity firm generates $180,000 in revenue its first 6 months, with 12 enterprise clients already signed for year 2 contracts. The amber whiskey catches the light differently now. Same glass, same apartment, but everything has changed in the year since that 3:47 a.m. notification. My new company employs 12 people and maintains contracts with 43 businesses. Not the empire I once built, but something more sustainable, more honest. Sarah sends a card congratulating me on the anniversary of my second beginning. We're not together, but forgiveness lives in small gestures. Marcus tried calling last week. I didn't answer. Some bridges burn completely, leaving only lessons in the ashes. Trust, I've learned, isn't about faith. It's about verification, boundaries, and the wisdom to know that even brothers can choose different sides of the moral line. Sometimes the greatest betrayals come from those closest to us, forcing decisions that define who we really are. When everything collapsed, I chose to rebuild rather than seek revenge. I chose integrity over easy money. I chose truth over comfortable lies. Was he right to forgive Marcus's betrayal and focus on moving forward? Comment below.